Welcome back, everyone, to another LEGO Star Wars video, and I think by now we all know in 2024, LEGO Star Wars will be celebrating two different things in particular. Number one being the 25th anniversary of the theme itself, and then second up, the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace, Star Wars Episode 1, which both those did happen in 1999. So, as of right now, or as of yesterday, we do know that, it is official. We've had leaks for months, but there are official images of the logo and the branding for the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace, then also the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars. And today, in particular, I pretty much want to go over everything we know about the Phantom Menace side of things, because I think stuff might get a little interesting here, okay? I pretty much want to give you guys a recap on everything that we do know, where I think we can see that Darth Maul minifigure be at, and then also give some honest predictions for what we could possibly see regarding the Phantom Menace later on in the year. So, at the current point, what I want to go over first is basically last year, I want to compare the Phantom Menace anniversary a little bit to the Return of the Jedi anniversary, because I think if it was like 5 or 6 years ago, I wouldn't even bother making the comparison. I would just say, okay, ROTJ is going to obviously get, way more stuff than Phantom Menace, But I think in modern landscape for LEGO, it might not be a one-to-one comparison for them still, but I think they understand, hey, look, there is a lot of prequel people out there. Let's put out a little bit more Phantom Menace than maybe we would have in a different year. So for Return of the Jedi last year, quick little recap, we ended up getting the X-Wing Polybag. This is everything branded under the anniversary. Not necessarily everything made sense, but it was branded under the actual logo. So we have the X-Wing Polybag, the Death Star May 4th promo, the TIE Bomber, the Bausch Leia helmet, the Emperor's Throne Room diorama, the Endor Speeder Chase diorama, the Executor Super Star Destroyer, midi scale, also the buildable Chewbacca, then also the Battle of Endor Heroes, 5-pack brickheads. So that is everything for Return of the Jedi last year. Now let's kind of correlate to what we're actually getting this year. So we are, getting a anniversary polybag for the movie, okay, which being the 10 AAT this year. All right, so that kind of takes up the X-Wing polybag spot. We don't know what the May 4th promo is this year, but honestly, knowing they did one for ROTJ last year, they might end up doing one for the Phantom Menace. I'll kind of get into my ideas on that in a minute. And then moving into, we have the other stuff here. We don't have anything else until May 1st, and that being the 75380, the Boonta Eve Pod Race diorama, 718 parts for 70, and then also 75381, the buildable Droidica, 583 parts for $70 also. And those are both going to be 18 plus sets. And you can kind of argue, those take up, we actually had 4 18 plus sets last year. We had the, or technically 5, but in the spring waves, we have the Super Star Destroyer, the 2 dioramas, and the helmet. We do know in next year, helmets are not coming back, at least, for the first half, I guess. Something could, surprisingly happen maybe in the summer, but it seems like all of 2024, all right, and maybe forever, it looks like the helmets might be done. But let's get into actually, let's kind of fill in some of these gaps here, okay? So I do think, all right, 75383, which is a mystery set, because we have to think about it. We do know there's going to be a Darth Maul minifigure, that was heavily rumored, basically right on the line of being confirmed, and it's going to be in the first half of the year, all right? And we don't really have anywhere else, for it to actually go, since we know it's not going to be an anniversary minifigure, all right, and we do know it's also in the Phantom Menace outfit. So it's not like it's, a random Clone War set. It's not like it's based off of, Rebels. Some people have brought up the fact, it is the 10-year anniversary of Rebels. Could it be a regular set, for Rebels with Darth Maul? But no, we now know it is officially a Phantom Menace Darth Maul, minifigure coming in from, January until June. That's the first half of the year. Of course, we don't know, we know it's not in January. And the only last thing that could possibly be coming out in March or May, all right, which we basically know nothing about publicly, is 75383, okay? And where I think 75383 might kind of connect to what they did last year was I think it might end up being something like the Super Star Destroyer, and not necessarily be a midi-scale ship, but I do think that set might end up being possibly like a Target exclusive, okay? Because at the moment, it does seem like the AAT Polybag also is not exclusive to Target, but it looks like it's in Targets and not Walmart. So I did kind of predict it would just be the Walmart Polybag, but it looks like it is just the Target bag, which kind of brings back some nostalgia to 2019, because I was working at Target back then, and just in general, the 20th anniversary polybags, the 3 that came out that year, were all, basically only at Target. They were Target bags and not Walmart bags. So it's going to be kind of cool to see the AAT polybag, be in the Target stores. But moving back to 75383, whether that ends up being exclusive or not, I do think it will be a Phantom Menace set, okay? And I think that's going to be the set with the Darth Maul. I think we can have one of 3 options here. I think, first up, it could end up being maybe a diorama, sure. I'm kind of very, leaning against that. I don't think it's going to be Duel of the Fates. I don't think that at all. Or it could be one of 2 other things. We could have thought it might be a midi-scale Sith infiltrator, but, at that point, midi-scale ships don't come with minifigures, so that can't be the case. So I'm still banking on the fact I do think this might end up being a regular, say 60, maybe 70, 80. Of course, the more expensive, the more merrier for me, at least, for some of these sets. But hopefully a well-priced, a well-built, and a well-sized through and through. I guess technically the price doesn't matter to me. I just want a normal size, if not a little bit bigger size, ship. And I do think it's going to end up being a Sith infiltrator. So that's where I'm going to kind of shoot that prediction there. And moving into the rest of the year and kind of the rest of my predictions, again, I don't think they're going to do like a 1-for-1, straight up kind of repeat of last year. But we do have the 5-pack brickheads coming out. That's pretty much a, presumably a carbon copy for Phantom Menace, as the Battle of Endor Heroes was, 5-pack and 5-pack coming out in May. But, then the May 4th promo. Here's where we get kind of, where it gets interesting. All right. They did a Death Star promo last year. Sure, the Death Star, whether it was an anniversary or not, is way more kind of, people know about it more, way more recognizable, and really no matter what year it was, I feel like that would have been a semi-fine promo. Of course, I wish we got a minifigure, but the actual, vehicle, the ship itself, the Death Star, is way more recognizable. But here's kind of like a shot in the dark. Again, I know absolutely nothing, but technically, the fact of getting a Darth Maul minifigure in the first half of 2024, could that possibly be in the May 4th promo? All right, and I'm not thinking just minifigure. I don't think they're going to do just a minifigure polybag, but what if they bring back kind of like the Lars Homestead, and they give us like a 150-piece build, all right, of the 2 doors opening up, and then behind it, all right, you have your Lego doors. You're able to, maybe 2 little Technic knobs on the back, you're able to slide them open. And then you got your episode 1 Darth Maul right there with the hood on and the double-bladed lightsaber right behind the doors waiting to fight Qui-Gon and Kenobi. I mean, that would be pretty sick. I mean, that would be, look, that's the prequel guy in me, the prequel lover in me that's wishing that. I think to the average Star Wars fan, that would be pretty lackluster. It would be nice, though, to get a fig and a build, but my one kind of thing about that is, and I've said this before, Episode 1 Darth Maul, there's really not much more you can do to him. I think we've gotten pretty much perfect versions in the past. So to waste a May 4th minifigure spot, in a fig in a build, promo, I think that'd be pretty lackluster even for me. But that's just an idea. I mean, what if we get Darth Maul in that promo set, the May 4th set? But all right, but moving into the actual rest of the year here, I think there's only a couple things in particular that I'm going to make an honest prediction of. Because think about it, last year, they really, everything ROTJ related was in the first half of the year. It was very, front heavy, besides the buildable Chewbacca in the second half of the year, which, again, I'm going to move into 3 predictions for next summer. All right. I am going to shoot out, just kind of an honest little thing here. All right. I mean, if they bounce off the fact of doing these buildable characters still, all right, and they follow suit of last year with doing Chewbacca for ROTJ, it is just a little thought. I mean, what if next year, or, this year in 2024, what if we get some type of episode 1 character in that form? And at that point, I'm not too sure exactly who it would be. I mean, Darth Maul would be iconic, but I feel like maybe not as popular enough. I also see maybe they could do a C-3PO. Maybe they could do... Other than that, there's not too much, like, real well-known Episode 1 outfit-based characters. Like, I would assume they're not going to do, like, a young Anakin build. And I feel like another thing, too, when you get into those buildable characters, especially in Chewbacca's size, if it was more like the Harry Potter 2-pack minifigures they did, where they looked more minifigure-esque, where it was a little bit easier to do humans at that point, because you're going for a certain stylized look and not really like a real look. But I couldn't imagine them trying to do a human character in the Chewbacca scale. Like, I just couldn't imagine that. That would look even worse than Chewbacca, because at least you can kind of chop it up with Chewbacca, since he's like a beast, an animal, where if he looks a little weird up there, you can kind of chop it up to that. But so that's also, one kind of prediction, maybe. All right, if I had to choose any character, possibly like C-3PO, just because it's kind of iconic, you can kind of go with, R2-D2, that also comes out at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to guess a C-3PO. All right, the other two things here. All right, I'm going to guess maybe an MTT. I think an MTT does make sense. I think it's time for an upgrade. They have liked doing reddish brown MTTs in the past. It would be their 4th version of it. So I think it's, I think Lego Star Wars for some reason has some of these vehicles that they really do like doing more times than one. Stuff like tri-droids, stuff like MTTs. Of course, you got your ATTs, your gunships. Like I think they have like a certain like 10 or 15 vehicles that just every 5 or 6 or 7 years, they're just kind of doing. All right, and it's understandable. So I do think a reddish brown MTT might be possible. Kind of fill up $140 price point. And one more thing to kind of back it up with is because this battle pack here is kind of based off the 07 kind of combo pack, of Phase 2 clones and the droids and super battle droids. And also in 07, you had a reddish brown MTT. So if they're going to kind of do a pretty big callback with this battle pack to 07, an MTT would kind of fit that criteria of doing a little callback to this, this year also, 2007, and also being able to be branded Phantom Menace and just be a set that they already do quite often. Give us an updated version of it. Give us a bunch of battle droids. At that point, maybe be able to throw us some security droids, for once. And I think an MTT is an honest, prediction. Other than that, of course, there's so many other, Phantom Menace sets that they could be doing. There's Naboo starfighters, there's flash speeders, there's regular scale pod racers. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. All right, but honestly, the last thing I'm going to say here, and it's only on the cusp of the tan AAT Polybag at the beginning of the year, is they might be doing a tan AAT. Kind of larger $40, $50 scale in the summer. Okay, so those are honestly my 3 predictions because I don't think they're going to do too much Phantom Menace in the summer. I think 2024 summer will be pretty, top heavy on the fact of celebrating the actual 25th anniversary of Lego Star Wars, and Phantom Menace will kind of follow suit as RTJ did last year and really kind of have a front-heavy promotion and celebration. So that's what I'm thinking, guys. That's where I'm at with the Phantom Menace. That is everything we know at the moment. We do have a couple sets, 5 things that are coming out in the first half of the year guaranteed, and a couple honest predictions for the second half. So definitely leave your thoughts down below. What do you guys think? Do you guys think they're going to go all out on the Phantom Menace, or do you think we're only going to get maybe one more thing in the summer next year? If so, what do you honestly think it would be? I would love to hear it down below. And that's all for today's video, guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, guys, and stay safe.